Everyone deserves to feel safe at home. Unfortunately, for some, home couldn't be any less safe. Over 12 million people experience domestic violence per year in the United States. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced physical violence, sexual violence, or stalking by a romantic partner. As a survivor, there is already enough to be stressed about. Housing shouldn't be one of those things. That's why, as a survivor, you are protected by fair housing laws to help you stay safe and secure in your housing, free from an abuser. Everyone in the United States is protected from discrimination under federal fair housing laws. These protections apply to activities related to renting, buying or selling a home, applying for a mortgage, and more. Some states, like Illinois, have additional protections beyond what is required federally. A survivor is someone who has experienced gender-based violence, such as domestic violence, intimate partner violence, sexual assault, trafficking, or stalking. Survivors are protected regardless of their sex, gender identity, or sexual orientation. Here are some ways you may be protected as a survivor. You cannot be denied housing because you are a survivor or have an order of protection in place against the perpetrator. You have the right to retain your housing and your safety, especially if your immediate well-being is at risk. You have the right to leave housing that is unsafe. You have the right to report crime or seek emergency services without being penalized when you are a victim. You cannot be retaliated against by a housing provider for exercising your rights. Some additional protections may also apply, depending on what type of housing you live in. If you live in private housing in Illinois, like an apartment that is owned by a landlord, and there is an immediate threat of danger, you can end your lease early without penalty and change your locks. These protections require you to follow specific instructions, including providing notice within specific timeframes. If you live in public housing, like a property that is owned or subsidized by the government, you cannot be denied admission or assistance because you are a survivor, or due to negative factors in your credit, rental, or conviction history that were the direct result of the abuse. You can request an emergency transfer, like moving to a different unit, housing program, or housing authority. You can request that the perpetrator be removed from your lease. Despite these protections, discrimination persists. Here are some scenarios to look out for that may indicate illegal discrimination. Your housing application is denied because the housing provider thinks your situation will cause too much trouble. You are assaulted by your partner and then evicted. You are ignored by your public housing authority when requesting an emergency transfer. If you think you may have had your rights violated as a survivor, you have options. Inform your housing provider of your fair housing rights, how they were violated, and request your preferred outcome, such as approving an emergency transfer request. You can also contact your local domestic violence service, legal aid provider, or fair housing center to learn more about how to exercise your rights. They can provide resources, advocacy, and sometimes even free legal assistance. At the end of the day, housing is a human right. Fair housing laws help so you can rest easy in a place to call home.